So, Creature Commandos is over. The first establishment is complete in James Gunn's Gods and Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, for it being an animated series that started us off, it is so freaking good.
Yeah, it has me really happy and excited for Superman.
Yes, yes, I'm not gonna lie, and like jumping right into, I'm not gonna lie, like the scene that was like, no, like I was so upset, but this right here, I'm like,
Yeah,
no, I did not see that coming. I'm not gonna lie, I thought there's
the
no,
whole twist of like what happened with the bride, I was like,
yes,
"Oh my God. Oh my God."
yeah,
And then and then at the end, like, spoiler warning or whatever. But we got to see like the GI Robot 2.0, like that
yeah,
was there and I was like, "Oh my soul, I'm so happy."
yes, yeah. So that was a death. We're like, no, and that's someone came back, but then I don't think we're getting Mina back. Like I think she's gone.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
100%.
but
And
I
this,
mean,
and this episode, by the way, is called "A Very Funny Monster." I forgot to mention that.
yeah.
So
So I mean, like it kind of like it goes with the fact that like her and Weasel both like aren't aren't
mhm,
those people. Like they're made out to be these monsters, but they
yeah,
haven't actually really killed anybody. They're
yeah.
here to support the people that they care about and they love.
And
And
this is the
you got
episode
to
we
see
get to
that
see
with
her backstory,
right.
and like it
And you got
was,
to see where she has that love and that she's really never been a monster in the sense of
no,
like killing people. And you got to see that when like they tell her like, okay, well, the princess is in this lake body of water swimming and that's you, bitch. Like you gotta go
yeah,
swim. And she's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go swim. And then they're like, you're gonna have to stab her.
yeah.
And she's just like, what do you mean I have to stab her? Why do I have to kill her? Like
Mm.
I'm just here to be with
And
my friends.
Doctor Phosphorus, man, whoo! Like obviously we get the perception that the bride is giving off. Ooh, I'm a hard ass, but she really did
Hmm.
care for Mina. She really did.
Yeah.
But Doctor Phosphorus, that we see in the previous episode, and we get the feel for him. But then like he does what he does with Mina, like he like just acts like he cares, and then like as she walks off, he's like, "Does it sound like I care?" Even though I really
Yeah.
don't. I'm like,
Yeah.
God, you
I
are
was like,
so
oh,
hard, dude. Like so hardcore. Like God.
dude, the part where they were like fighting in the town square or whatever,
Uh,
and like he put up his middle fingers and then like he went through like the people's faces and it was
Yeah.
just like the
Or how about
outline of
like
his
when
middle finger.
he
I
went
was
to put
like,
his hand over the mouth and then he just pulls his hand back and takes off the bottom half of his face. I'm like,
and the
woo!
smoke comes out of the guy's nose because he was
Yes,
smoking a
yes, as a
cigarette.
secret, yes.
Yes. Oh man.
Like to me, I'm not gonna lie, this is peak adult animation. Like the storytelling's good. And here's another thing. Kudos to James Gunn. He is the only writer of this. He wrote these by himself. And like in different
Hmm.
interviews and stuff, he talks like he knocked these out like super quick. Now, like, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, he gives credit where credit's due. Like, he didn't direct these because, like, he's like, animation's not his strong point on directing and stuff. But so, like, he's like, the director and people who help polish things on this, and the animators, he's like, they escalated my writing, and so like he
Yeah.
gives credit where credit's due. But you can't deny, like, he wrote these by himself, and it's like
Yeah.
James Gunn is a
And he
talented,
said that
so talented.
he used like the comics as like a backbone, but like he
Yeah.
made it completely his own. And
Yes.
then like he did the teaser on like the 23rd of December that he's like, "Hey, don't worry, come back for season 2." And I didn't know
Yeah.
that
I
at
didn't
first, and
either.
I didn't find that out until
Yeah.
this weekend when I was like researching and you're like, "What are our theories and thoughts on season 2?" And I was like, is there going to be a season 2? So I
Oh,
immediately
yeah.
started Googling
Oh,
and he
I
made
think
a
there would be
post
a
on
riot
X.
if there wasn't. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. So he made a post on X back on the 23rd of December when we
Yeah.
were doing our break. And he did say that it's been renewed for season 2. So, um, like to see how this ended and then the bride get her own team, I'm really
Yeah.
excited to see like all of
Yes.
this happen because like at the end she was just like, "Look, man, like I'm not here to kill you because like it's what the world needs. I'm here to kill you because I fucking hate you. Like
Yeah.
you killed my only friend I ever had and
Yeah.
now you deserve to die."
But
And I'm
she
like,
did figure out the manipulation in it. She was bad.
Oh yeah. She did before she killed her and was
And
like, I saw the photo, I saw Clayface, I
yeah,
know what you did, and
mm,
then to see the princess's face go from like, I don't blame you for
yeah,
what you did with your friend to like, oh shit, like she knows.
yeah. Yeah, and, like, we talked about our theories a while back, about Cersei and the princess and which one's really bad, and I had that feeling that there's something still bad about that princess. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't necessarily know which way to think about Cersei, I really didn't, but, like,
yeah,
I just had that gut feeling the princess is still a bad person, and,
yeah.
yeah, I was so happy to see her.
She tricked me.
But man, like, uh I like, I'm so ready for season 2, but man, I would love to see this in live action. I'm not even gonna lie, and I would love to see how they would do
Um,
the bride, because like, man, it would
no, the bride is obviously prosthetics would go
right,
so
right, but it
far
would
for
be
that,
so
and
cool to see her in live action.
oh yeah, I'm more concerned about Dr. Phosphorus and
Oh,
how they,
yeah.
and that's
That'd
why
be
they
some hella
decided to do,
CGI.
so that's why they decided to do
Mhm.
animation for this, is because it would be easier to tell his story and not have to
Right.
worry about all of that. And you got to
Yeah.
see like the crackle that like there was a comic book actor, or not comic book actor, sorry, comic book writer
Uh-huh.
that like had to like put that crackle to paper, and it's like his effect is like what they call that crackle, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah, I've
remember
seen
exactly
that.
what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking
And I
about.
saw it on new, yeah, I saw it on New Rockstars.
Uh-huh.
To go check out their stuff because I can't remember what that crackle is called.
Yeah. Their
But
breakdowns are so freaking thorough. Like, I love their
absolutely.
breakdowns.
Yes. And they talked about that crackle and I was like, wow, that's like really neat, but that's something that you can't do in
Mhm.
live action. Like it's
And
just
it
not
not
the
be
same. Like
expensive.
you can try to do it CGI, but it
Right.
just,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I don't think that it would go over well and it wouldn't look right. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, but man, and then like, like, do you think also that Rick Flag Senior will be back with this new group on the next season, or do you think he might be done because he kind of disproved himself and how easy he could fall into, you know, I mean,
I
like they were kind of making fun of him on, oh, all it took was a googly eye girl to make him an idiot, like, and so now
well
the
yeah,
bride's kind of established the leader as at the end of this.
yeah.
So do you think like he's done in that? Because we do know we're going to get him in Superman Legacy, or I mean, sorry,
Mhm.
Superman now, and then we
Yeah.
also know he's going to be in Peacemaker season 2. So there's theories out there that because Rick Flag Jr. was killed by Peacemaker, and with Rick Flag Sr. going to be in season 2 of Peacemaker, obviously they're going to get into it. And do you think that Peacemaker could possibly kill Rick Flag Sr. in season 2, and we get him maybe just in these 3 projects or 3 or 4 projects, and then he's done? Or do you think that I mean, because I don't see the
That would
guy
be so
forgiving him.
sad.
I don't see
Yeah.
the guy forgiving him for killing his son. I don't think they're going to get along. I don't think there's no getting over that. You don't get
Yeah.
over that.
No. No. There you can't, but there's also like being cordial and still working together. So I feel,
Yeah. Do
I
you
don't know, man.
I
I
don't
don't think that
either.
he's gonna be a part of Creature Commandos. Like maybe he'll be with Viola Davis and like overseer kind of
Right.
thing.
Or do you think that
Um,
they would do maybe later on still do a Suicide Squad that's in this new DCU, and maybe put him leading that because he couldn't properly lead the monsters? Because like I mean, and it not be no time soon. I don't know why that was so hard to get that word out, but but like because this first phase is gods and monsters. So
mm,
obviously the monsters are well established now, so well. And then Superman, that comes into the god part, So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously we'll see. I don't know why. Uh, I'm
I
so
think he's done with Creature Commandos,
yeah.
but I don't think that he's gonna be killed off in Peacemaker.
Right.
Just because I think he cares about his character too much to let it
Mhm.
go so soon, because he can't go back to Marvel, like, because
Right. Right.
apparently he burned that bridge.
Right, right, and
Um,
he's kinda upset with how little he was in Marvel, so I think
right,
he would have to be a little bit more longer established in DCU to be playing this character as well.
right, or like he might stick around with Disney and or try to go back to Disney rather and do something with like Star Wars. I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
really know what he's gonna do, but
Yeah,
like I don't think that he's gonna be in Creature Commandos anymore.
yeah,
Just because I think of like how it all went down and
sure.
how badly he got beat up by Clayface.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna be the new Clayface?
I don't know. That's another thing is like it's wild to think because this is in James
Huh.
Gunn's DC.
Yeah.
That Clayface is dead. Like there's no ifs ands about it
Yeah.
because they went back and his face was still laying on the ground like he's dead. So
Yeah.
it makes you wonder like, crap, are we not going to get a Clayface ever in live action in this new universe, or will it be something kind of like storytelling of the Invisible Man? There that was a substance that created Clayface. Maybe there's another person who's going to get the chemical substance or whatever and be the next
Hmm.
Clayface. It's just a
Yeah.
different person, type thing.
And
Uh,
that's what I think it's gonna be because we know we're getting that Mike Flanagan, which
right,
is part of this universe. Mike
right,
Flanagan's Clayface that he's making is a part of this universe.
right.
So
And that Clayface is definitely dead. So I think it's going to be someone else become a new person becomes the new Clayface.
right.
Uh, yeah, kind of like I said, like they've done storytelling Invisible Man. Well, I mean, kind of
Hmm.
like Leave Extraordinary Gentlemen. Another guilty pleasure of mine that I love that movie. I watch all the time.
Same.
And Skinner, he was Invisible Man, but he's like, the original Invisible Man died, but his process didn't. And so like he took, his DNA and stuff and made himself the Invisible Man. So I
Yeah.
think that's the route they almost have to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And because like Rick Flag got beat up so much, maybe he's gonna experiment and that's why he's gonna become Clayface and he's gonna become evil because like
Mm.
nobody trusts him now. And I
Yeah,
don't know.
true.
Like there are so many different ways that this
No,
could go,
I want to see
or they could
Alan
just kill
Tudyk
him
as
off.
the live
Like
version. I want to see Alan Tudyk as our Clayface.
so I mean, so the new rock stars like said that yeah, even though like he voiced Clayface in the Harley Quinn and in
Mm,
this, like the fact that they never actually showed him as Clayface and they
mm,
actually showed him as Dr. Phosphorus, like in the
right.
most
They
realistic
probably
way
won't.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I also am thinking. And I'm
Mm.
like, okay, well, I mean,
Yeah, that's true. I just love Alan Tudyk.
yeah, no, I mean, he can't do any wrong. Like he's
Right,
never
right.
done any
Well,
wrong.
now you say
And
that, I think there was something I read where James Gunn commented, he's like, even though Alan Tudyk is voicing multiple people, he will
mhm,
only actually be one character in the DCU. Like, so like so it may be a deal where we do get to see a live action Dr. Phosphorus, not like a movie about him, but him come into a scene because how many
yeah.
characters are overlapping, and that's just who Alan Tudyk is. And but
Yeah.
so speaking of somebody who might be coming to DC, it might be the new DC big bad, which I think he could definitely pull it off. Do I necessarily think this is a smart move? No, because he was established so well in the MCU as the big bad Thanos, Josh Brolin. Okay, he's also was Cable in the MCU. All right, but here's the thing with this Darkseid
Who is he trying
and
to? Okay. So
Darkseid
he's trying to be
is
Darkseid.
who he's teasing. Supposedly, he's in talks with DC to be Darkseid, which is a big bad in the DC
Mm,
universe. But Darkseid is the equivalent of Thanos in like comparison from Marvel to DC. For him
okay.
being that comparison, even in the comics, and then being that in the MCU, why would you want to bring that guy as the same thing in the DCU, especially when you're not trying to copy or
Because he
mimic?
did so
And
well.
he did do so well. Don't be wrong, and I think he could pull a dark side off. But I just think like you don't want to get that reputation that we're mimicking Marvel at all. And James Gunn, James Gunn said that he's like even with
Yeah.
Big Bad, he's like Darkseid is going to be a big bad. I think he's mentioned this, and he said that there's a deal I read where he said we're not going to do like Marvel where it's multiple movies leading up to the big bad. He's like,
Hmm.
we're because obviously he does not want to structure it and have any comparison at all to Marvel. And I think this is another piece of the puzzle to where if they went this route, it would be a comparison to Marvel if they did this. So what's your thoughts on this? I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like the guy could do it, and
Yeah.
he teased this artwork on his story the other day, which why would you do that unless
What do you mean?
someone
Why would
or
you do? He
no
would because like
he's fishing or it's a real thing and he's teasing.
so I think that it's not a real thing yet. because
He's
it's in
fishing for
talks. Like,
support.
I think he wants to do it, and he's trying to say, like, look, I
Yeah.
could do it. Like, let
Mhm.
me do it. And Josh Brolin is just like a phenomenal actor
Oh,
that he's
yeah.
had like
Yes.
such a large resume
Oh, yeah.
spiel, if you will, of like different actors.
Very versatile
Yeah,
actor.
of different characters that he can play. So
Yeah.
like I don't think that he's typecasting himself. I think that he's like, okay, I've done pretty much
Mhm.
everything I can do with MCU at this point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It
And
is
like,
what it is.
have you seen Outer
And
Range on Amazon?
no, I don't even
Okay,
know what that is.
that's the current show he's doing. There's only 2 seasons out. The second season came out a few months ago. Uh,
Okay.
but it's a sci-fi thriller mixed with it being on like a ranch land.
Mhm.
It's very trippy. It's very, very I like it. You should check it out sometime.
Okay.
It's like a Western sci-fi that he's in. It's crazy.
Okay. Yeah. I'll definitely like have to check that out. I'm sorry, my nose is like acting up right now. Um, but like I think that he's like, okay, well, I've done what I can with the MCU, so let me go over to the DCU now that
Mhm.
they're doing well and um he's at least has he worked with James Gunn? No. I don't think he's worked with James Gunn. But
I don't think. I know he did. No, I don't think he's worked with James Gunn. I know. I think he. Let me see if just go ahead. Keep on. But I think he's done a DC project before. Yeah, Jonah
okay.
Hex. He was Jonah Hex, and that's a DC project that was done in 2010 with him and Megan Fox.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that.
No, no, we really don't.
We don't talk about that. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah. That's a Bruno
but I think
situation.
yes. But I think like with this, he's like, okay, well, I know that it will be done correctly, and
Mhm.
I'm comfortable coming back into the DCU, especially since he has been technically in the DC
Yeah.
of some type of universe. But yeah. I think that he could really pull it off. I don't think that
Mhm.
DC would be wrong to do it. Just because he wants to play it, and like, why
Sure.
not? Like, if somebody wants to play a character,
Well, plus
let
too,
them
like
try it out.
just like Thanos. I mean, with Darkseid, would be a fully CGI character. So it ain't
Mhm.
like they're completely using his face. It's gonna be like a repetitive face thing on screen. It would
Yeah,
just and he's got an iconic villain voice. He's got a great villain voice that
and his
really
build
makes
that like
you
you got
yeah.
to see him have
I,
with
I mean,
Thanos, like
in Thanos' face, you do see some resemblance of
mhm,
Josh Brolin, and I love how they did that. But like, I don't know, he has a very good I don't I love his voice for for Thanos because like it's a villain voice, but like it's a how do you explain it? Like it's a voice you like when he speaks, you want to listen to what he's got to say because everything he had to say
it's
was very
important.
influential and important. Yes, very.
Yes.
And so like yeah, I mean he would pull it off so well. I just
Mhm.
don't know because of the reason I spoke of earlier if that would be a good move. But if they did choose him, I would not be upset. I would not be upset. So
Yeah.
at all. But one
No.
last thing on DC, and this is kind of like a quick mention. I think this is hilarious. One thing also we don't speak of, and I will never watch again, is Joker 2, Fully Ado. Uh, but if you did watch the Golden Globes, if you didn't, that's fine. But just just go on YouTube, and I promise you, it's worth your time. It's like 9 minutes long. Just look up Nikki Glaser. Uh, at the beginning of the Golden Globes, like her
Yeah. It was
debut.
her opening.
Yeah, her opening. Yes, yes, thank you. I could not think of the word. But hilarious. I love Nikki Glazer's comedy. Like she is so freaking hilarious. And like when
Hmm.
I found out she was brought on, like, ooh, how they gonna bring her on and holding back some of her jokes that she says because they can get me out there. But she just like goes hard on so many actors that's right there, appearing. And one of them being Joker 2, she just completely shits on. She like looks over at Lady Gaga and is like, yeah, your parts in Joker too. She's like, I woke up for some of that. She's like, but the rest of the movie I pretty much slept on, which was hilarious. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know if Lady Gaga's parts were even the parts worth waking up on. And I love Lady Gaga as an actress and a singer because like Star is Born. Oh my god, I love that movie and that whole soundtrack. But man,
So
Fully
you're
Ado was.
remembering that sequence wrong.
Am I?
Just so you know, yeah. So she was talking about Dune with Zendaya and how she
Oh
woke
my
up to
God, you're
see
right.
Zendaya's
You are
parts.
right. I cannot believe I just said
Yeah.
that wrong. You're right.
No, it's okay. That's why we both watch things.
Yes.
So she was talking about Wicked and how amazing it was, how we can't talk about
Mm,
2024 without talking about
yeah.
Wicked,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
how people were getting mad in theaters because of how
Mm,
people were singing in theaters. And then she talked about how, unlike Joker 2, everybody was mad just because what was being shown on the screen and what was being
yes.
said. And
Yes.
can't you agree with Joker 2? Oh, Joker 2's not here. And then continued on with
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
skit
Yeah.
because
Yep.
like
You're
they
right.
didn't get nominated
Man,
for
I cannot believe I
anything.
got that mixed up. So her shitting on Dune 2 was hilarious. Oh man, yeah, you're right. That was Zendaya. My God, but yeah, I so completely got that mixed up. Thanks for
You're
clarifying
okay.
that.
No problem. It's what we're here for.
But
We're here to
still,
back each other up.
yes, for sure, and definitely incorrect it when need to be. So watch Nikki Glaser's debut of opening the Golden Globes. She is freaking so funny. Man. But yeah, that kind of wraps up DC.